Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make some Lebkuchen, or a variation of Lebkuchen should I say, which are a spiced biscuit for Christmas. Lebkuchen are very popular in Germany and Austria and such like, and in other areas as well. And it's quite a straightforward recipe, but this particular one takes a while because we need to chill our dough for at least 4 hours, and preferably overnight, which actually makes it easier because you can simply make the dough one day, throw it in the fridge, leave it overnight and then work on it the next day. And once the biscuits are baked, they're going to be iced with a mixture of icing, sugar, water and lemon, or dipped into some dark chocolate and allowed to set. So that's all there is to the explanation, and I'll go on to the ingredients. And for the biscuits, I have here 56 grams, a quarter of a cup of unsalted butter. I have 100 grams, half a cup of dark brown sugar, 275 grams, 1 2/3 cups plus 3 tablespoons of plain flour. That's based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup. I have 150 grams, 7 tablespoons of honey. I have the zest from 2 lemons and the zest from 1½ oranges. You can use as much or as little as you want basically, but that's going to give a nice citrus flavour into our cookies as well. I have 40 grams, 2 tablespoons of black treacle or molasses. I'm going to use 1 medium egg beaten, which would be large in the USA, 50 grams, which is about half a cup of ground almonds, and then I have 2 grams, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 2 grams, half a teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of nutmeg, 3 grams, 1½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 5 grams, 2 3/4 teaspoons of ground ginger, and 2 grams, 1 teaspoon, of mixed spice. So all those ingredients are going to go into our biscuit dough. I'm also going to use a little bit of salt and pepper, which I will simply grind into the mixture as I mix it. And then for the icing, I have 150 grams, which is 1 cup plus 3 tablespoons of icing sugar, and I'm going to use 30 millilitres, 2 tablespoons of boiling water. Now clearly this water is not boiling at the moment, but I will have boiling water when I need it, and 22 millilitres, 1½ tablespoons of lemon juice. Those 3 ingredients will make our icing. And then for the chocolate coating, I have 100 grams, which is about 2/3 of a cup of dark chocolate, and into that I'm going to use 5 millilitres, 1 teaspoon of oil. So that's all the ingredients, and we'll go on to make the biscuit dough. And to make the biscuit dough, we're going to start off by combining our butter with the dark sugar, the honey and the black treacle, and I'm putting those into a saucepan because I'm going to heat those up until they're melted and combined. And so I'm going to put that onto the heat, and as I said, I'm going to simply heat that gently until the butter and the sugar have melted and dissolved into each other and combined with the honey and the black treacle. You don't need to watch that, that's simply a heating process. So I'll come back when that is melted and ready to use. So my honey mixture is now melted and it's just cooling a little bit. And what I've done is I've put my seasonings, my baking powder, baking soda, nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger and mixed spice into my flour, and I've just stirred that around just to combine it a little bit, and then just a little grating of salt and pepper in as well. And I'm going to sift that into a larger bowl. And this will distribute the raising agents and the spices quite evenly. And that's good like that. So then I'm going to add in my orange and lemon zests. And I'm going to mix those around as well. And the ground almond can go in and be mixed through. And then I'm going to pour in my egg and get that mixed in. That's good. And then I'm going to gradually pour in my honey, black treacle, butter and sugar mixture, and this is going to make it into quite a sticky dough basically. And I'll mix that into a dough. But as you can see, it's a very soft and wet dough, but I'm just working it and spreading it a little bit so that I can make sure that there's no dry patches, which I haven't spotted. And that's good like that. So that we now need to wrap that and chill it. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take some plastic wrap and push that into a small bowl basically, and I'm going to scrape the dough into that bowl. And then I'm going to fold that plastic wrap over like that and over again like that. And I'm going to just roll it like that and put it back into the bowl, and I'm going to leave that in the fridge overnight. But I already have one which I prepared yesterday, so we can go on to the next step without waiting too long. So I've taken about half of my dough which I made yesterday, and I put it onto a floured surface, and I've floured the top a little bit as well, and I'm going to roll that out to a thickness of about 5 to 7 millimeters, which will be about ½ an inch. And it's a soft and sticky dough, which is why I've kept it nicely floured. So that's 5 millimeters from my guides there, and I'm going to take a scalloped cookie cutter. You can use whatever you want to cut out little biscuits basically, and this is about 5 centimeters, 1 3/4 inches, and I'm simply going to cut out rounds and put them onto a baking tray, leaving a good gap between each. And do the same with the other half of the dough, and re-roll the excess as well, and do the same with that. So here I have 36 cut out. I have a couple more, or maybe 3 or 4 more that I can roll out as well, but I'm going to put these into the fridge, and I'm going to chill them for at least 30 minutes. And as they chill for 30 minutes, I'm going to preheat my oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. And once the oven has come to temperature, I'll put the biscuits in and I'll bake them for 12 minutes. Then I'll take them out of the oven and transfer them to a wire rack and allow them to cool completely. And once they're completely cool, I'll come back and we'll make the icing and the chocolate to go on the top of them. So I baked my biscuits for 12 minutes and I left them on the trays for about 7 or 8 minutes. Then I transferred them to a wire rack and they've cooled down. I've actually already eaten one, but I'll just break one in half because I'll show you they're nice and soft but fully cooked through. So now I'm going to cover them with some icing or with some chocolate. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chocolate and I'm going to put it into a bowl with my teaspoon of vegetable oil or sunflower oil, and I'm simply going to melt that gently until it's completely melted. Now you can do that in the microwave, or you can do that in a bain-marie basically, however you wish. And as that's happening, I'm going to take my icing sugar and 30 millilitres, 2 tablespoons of just boiled water, put that in and add in my lemon juice, and I'm going to mix that around until I have a nice icing which I can use for coating the top of the biscuits. And if it's not thick enough, I can add more icing sugar, and if it's too thick for a nice coating, I can simply add a drop more liquid, and with that icing reasonably thick, you can make it thicker, as I said, by adding more icing sugar if you want to. I'm simply going to take a biscuit and dip it in like that, and then turn it over on a wire rack and leave it to set. And I'll do the same with the remainder of half of my biscuits basically. And I have coated those biscuits, and I actually spooned a little bit more icing on the top and let that spread out. So I'm going to leave those to set up now while I work on the ones that need the chocolate coating. And with my chocolate melted like that, I'm simply going to take my biscuits and dip them in as well, like that. And then I'm going to just give them a bit of a shake, let the chocolate spread out a little bit over the top. They don't have to be too precise, it has to be said. And put that onto a piece of parchment or onto a silicone mat and leave that to set up as well. I do the same with the remainder. And so I have also coated my chocolate ones, and I'm going to leave those to set as well, and when both types have set I'll come back and we'll have a taste. So I've left my spiced biscuits, my Lebkuchen, to set up for about an hour, and the chocolate is now firmed up and the icing has firmed up as well. So I'll show you them again. And they look quite good, I have to say, and I'll just show you the inside of one again that I've just had a bite of, and I'll have another taste of this. It has a lovely soft texture with those spices. And the spices aren't overpowering for the amount that we put in, but it gives a very, very nice flavour to the biscuit. And then in this particular instance, that sweet yet tart lemon icing works perfectly. Now, if you have any chocolate left over, or you could melt a little bit more chocolate and just pipe a little bit over in zigzags or something if you wanted to make them look even prettier. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.